not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting.
A decision that verges on racism. They have taken this decision to merge the 2 centres in spite of the fact that the people of Highfields do not want that merger to take place.
I will try to take on hold for its teeth.
Was probably the most important method that any centre head had any idea of as to how he could help the people that were around the catchment area of that particular centre.
I've actually gone on to university and are making better lives. They've got a better chance of being employed and they just feel better about themselves and etc. And I think it's a shame that of course it's being dragged away from the Highfields, and with the merger coming in we don't know what happening to any of the good things that we've got going there. Okay.
That we're having it all taken off of us for whatever reasons. I just feel that all the hard work that's gone into making that centre a better place, I mean it's grown and grown in the last 10 years that I've been there, that for to have it taken off of us for no valid reason, it seems so unjust.
Tory Reid, they promised us development, targeting and actions, and then planned out to shut us up in secret backroom factions. For this merger they would make is their latest round to close us down and hide their past mistakes. For those of us who know their ways, this move holds little wonder. We've suffered for the past few years the arrogance and blunder. In face of unemployment and education need, they've shown us only their contempt and selfish Tory greed. They promised us development, targeting and actions, and then planned out to shut us up in secret backroom factions.
Tightened that opposition. Today, members of the Highfields Community Association called on the council to think again.
This would destroy the activities at the centre, which has had a track record for the last 21 years.
Tonight is an occasion for us to celebrate a very significant success in our struggle to maintain the independence of this centre. I think that people have to understand that a week ago last Monday we achieved a tremendous achievement. That we took the County Council to the High Court in London in the struggle our independence as a community centre, and we won. The judge came to the conclusion that the council had not consulted with us, and the council should have consulted with us and the people in Highfields. And for that reason, the county council was sent rushing back to County Hall with their tails between their legs. This is something
we must work wholeheartedly to defend this centre.
In 1986, when we started up on the road to move this centre to being a purposeful community education centre.
For everybody, young people, elderly people, babies, toddlers, the lot. And this struggle has actually proved that. Leicestershire County Council, and this includes councillors, officers. One thing they don't like is people like us having a say, people like us understanding what we are saying, people like us demanding our rights, our very democratic rights. They never like that. The Wood Allens, the officers of County Hall will never like that. The Tories never like that. They don't want to give the ghetto the freedom to operate with the resources. They would like to control the ghetto.
I have been here on a number of occasions, and I've never had the opportunity to say that there's a core group of people that have been trying consistently to put forward a situation which we know is true, which we know is totally correct, that in spite of that we've had opposition, but nonetheless.
Prayer for Mothra. I was really stuck to his guns through thick and thin, and he's had an awful lot to put up with from the county council over the last, since 1986. And now the judge has seen as we, your arrogant autocracy. When you plan to cut our programme, and you plan to cut our staff.
We've had 2 very good days, and if you'd all like to stay for the interval, and we'll cut the cake and pass it round and enjoy the rest of the show.
I just want to say that it's a pleasure to be here again. I've been associated with this centre for the last 21 years. I studied and lived in this city for some time, and this is a particularly pleasurable day for me because I've been involved with the struggles of this centre over the years. I'm very pleased that you saw off certain people who gave the centre some grief.
I think it's fair to say that the contrast still values like some old furniture in this building, because we actually started in 1974, the same year as the centre opened.
I can't tell you what a fantastic experience it is for me personally to see this day come. And I think for all of us who've been involved with this project from the outset, there were times in the last 5 years since the original announcement of the award for this redevelopment was made in October 1997, when I doubted whether or not this day would come.
It certainly gives me great pleasure to be here this evening in seeing this project come to fruition and its launch. As someone who has grown up in this area for over 25 years, represents this area as a board member, knowing what facilities are available in this area and what facilities are not.
We can celebrate this project as being a particular flagship project for the community, with the interagency working, which will bring new facilities for the major area of regeneration in this area.
I'm always delighted to actually get an invite to come to Highfields. It starts to become like a second home, to be honest. But particularly tonight, because I've had an involvement with the project and Priya since the project's inception back in 1996.
The last time I came here, and I hope Priya doesn't mind, was when I think it was about nearly a year and a half ago, and Priya phoned me up and said, I need to see you, Ashwin. It's about time you got off your backside and came to projects like us.
Credit to the tenacity and commitment of people on the Community Association, and also to Priya, because I know Priya is someone who doesn't let go, and I know that he's had to, at times, challenge his own department as well as other people, and there are very few people who are prepared to put their jobs on the line, prepared to do the things that's required in the community, even if it means at the risk of their own livelihood. So I think that he needs to be congratulated, and so do the Community Association.
We believe will contribute significantly to the development of the local communities within this area. For this reason, on behalf of Restoration Equality Council staff and myself, I'd like to thank the organisers for inviting us to this event.
Did not actually arise in 1996 when the application was first submitted to Sport England, but it originated back in 1983 as a programme bid under the old in-area programme.
My way over. Wandering, I am lost as I travel along wide cliffs of Dover. Many rivers to cross, and it's only my will that keeps me alive. I've been licked, washed up for years, and I merely survive because of my pride.
This centre is my centre. I'm living here for 43 years, and this is my community.
There are some people at the council who felt that probably we are too powerful. And somebody off the record said one thing to me. They said, Priya has to go in 6 months' time.
It's a blatant attack on local community organisations.
A proven track record of members of staff that has provided excellent service to the community.
It's not just the team leaders, but it's our ability as a community to have a voice. Absolutely.
I don't my access course here. I think if the access course were in the university or a different setting, I wouldn't have come.
It was actually members of the Highfields Youth Council who approached the Community Association and said that as it appeared that negotiations and relations with the council had broken down, that a campaign should be set up to try and raise awareness of this and try and bring the council to the table in a way that is fair and equal.
Well, no, what you've got to do is say, you're prepared to fight all the way to the High Court. We ain't going to give it up. Local people are not going to give it up. We will go all the way to the High Court.
Essentially, we have a dispute between a community centre that sees itself as accountable to the community, and then we have a council represented by certain elected members who do not seem to see themselves accountable to anybody.
We haven't got a full staffing structure, and all of this is under jeopardy. And I think that's the situation we're at the moment.
This is not a campaign on its own in Highfields. It's a wider campaign that other community centres and other establishments in the city are part of. We've had a lot of meetings with councillors, officers and other groups and individuals in terms of taking this to a protest to tell the council enough is enough.
The centre gives young people a chance to come here. So it's not just a centre to them, it's a second home.
Do you think this is right that they are taking away our centre and our staff? Well, my answer to this is no.
In 2003, the Education Department, which had responsibility for this centre, had a chief officer who left before he was disciplined.
This scandal can't be allowed to continue. The council needs community association. And I would say to the council that the community and the community association needs to be supported, recognised, and it needs to be held.
Don't get driven by party politics. I will not take sides of anybody. I act in the interest of the people who want to use the centre.
Local authorities do not like local communities who are poor to take control. And what they usually do is use divide and rule.
If you want to solve this problem, then we act as users.